Yes, you read that right. XRP has now been added to the SEC website as a strategic reserve currency. I'll get into what's really going on here in this film. There is a lot of talk and gossip in the XRP community. Are you sick of gurus who say they are skilled traders but never actually trade? Everything is clear on the second largest cryptocurrency market where I trade live, and results can't be faked. I've closed every month in profit for over 440 days in a row. Just in the last 90 days, people who follow me have made over 70% and lost only 4%. Results that have been checked, not just statements. Want to see my real stats? You can copy my trades for free right now if you click on the first link in my biography. Is this the SEC ending the case, calling XRP a commodity, and saying it should be kept in strategic reserves? I'm gonna break it all down and tell you what it all means. Also, Carly Gasparino just added to the controversy with a new post saying that the SEC might be getting ready to publicly label XRP as a security. Is this really true? Is it just more noise? I will sort truth from lies. Stay until the end, because the price of XRP is doing something really cool right now. Something that could finally make it possible for it to beat Ethereum for good. Let's get right to the latest talk about Charlie Gasparino's story about how the SEC might classify XRP as a security. We are also going over how this case could go, with both a bullish and a bearish outcome possible. Yes, there are pros and cons to each, and we're going to talk about them. First, Charlie Gasparino's story is getting a lot of attention. He says that the SEC and Ripple are deep in settlement talks, which builds on what Eleanor said earlier. The important question: how useful XRP is, and whether that makes it trade more like a commodity instead of an investment. This part is what's making people look twice. Gasparino says that the ICO for Ethereum and the issue of XRP aren't that different, saying that they both started off in the same way. He says that Ethereum became a product because it was useful, but XRP hasn't because it doesn't have enough uses. But let's be honest, this claim doesn't make sense. The way ETH became a product is very different from other ways. And saying that XRP hasn't become useful, that point of view is completely wrong. Let's get things straight. There was never an ICO for XRP. So here it is. When Ethereum sold a lot of Ether that didn't exist yet, they said, hey, give us your money and we'll build this cool Ethereum network for you. It's a promise, a return on your money. In that case, yes, that is a security. Ethereum held an ICO. They promised delivery of Ether in the future when they sold it ahead of time. XRP is a totally different story when it comes to security moves. The XRP record was made ahead of time. XRP was already around. After that, XRP was sold as an asset. Can you find the difference? It's very clear. David Schwartz also spoke out. ETH was sold secretly by its creator before there was a ledger or blockchain, but XRP wasn't. It's just funny that Charlie Gasparino still can't get this painfully clear difference after all this time. How on earth is this still a debate? Right now, saying that ETH is more useful than XRP is just plain silly. Let's be honest. Ethereum is a mess. Because it moved to proof of stake, the blockchain is now broken and has a lot of problems with centralization. Take a look. What will happen when all the big ETF providers buy a lot of ETH? In the end, they take over the whole network. That has a time bomb in it. And don't even get me started on how well it works with networks. Because of how badly its smart contracts were designed, it's slow, ridiculously expensive, and always full of security holes. Still, Charlie Gasparino seems to believe that this is more useful than XRP. We must be better than this, please. Don't believe his empty claims. His posts make it clear that he hasn't done his job. Let's not waste time worried about ideas that don't hold up when we look closely at them. Let's look at how this case might end in real life. Because Jeremy Hogan recently said some things that made me think a lot. Let's look at two possible ends right now. And the first one is pretty easy to understand. A deal. It's easy, clean, and could happen at any time. That would be the end of the Ripple SEC for good. It would be clear that XRP is not a security, and Ripple could move forward in the US with a clear road. That sounds great, right? There is a catch though. A deal would basically overturn what Judge Torres said. That's legal, but it's not really how things are done. Some people might look at it funny. Remember that Judge Torres said Ripple owed the SEC $145 million and told them they couldn't sell XRP to institutional buyers until they registered with the SEC. It's a clear order, but a deal could get around all of that. So even though it's an easy way to get there, it comes with some problems. Isn't it interesting? Think about Ripple and the SEC ending a 4-year court case by telling the judge, "Hey judge, thanks for your time, but we have a new plan now." Technically they might be able to pull it off, but the people would probably not like it. There would be doubts about how that would work, but it's not completely out of the question. Let's be honest. The SEC prosecution case has been a mess from the beginning. This won't hurt their record in any way. The campaign has been a mess from the start. That being said, this would only be a quick fix to hide everything. Ripple, the SEC and Judge Torres could go back and change the decision, which would be better but take longer. Imagine that the SEC said, "Okay, a lot of what we said before was wrong." They would ask the judge to change the decision, get it back, and then change their minds. Perhaps it would take longer, but it would be the only legal way to end this mess for good. In the eyes of Jeremy Hogan, that's the better and more streamlined way to do it. That's possible, it could take a while, even months. But is that really such a big deal? People may think I can't wait that long when they hear several months. But let's be honest, does it even matter now? XRP ETFs are being released very quickly. A lot of big institutions are teaming up with Ripple, and the noise doesn't bother them at all. Because of this, Ripple and one of Brazil's largest banks just launched a stablecoin based on the XRP system. They're hiring a lot of people. And as Brad Garlinghouse said earlier this year, they're getting more jobs in the US than ever before. It's clear that nobody in the US cares about the Ripple SEC case anymore, and they're not worried about whether it ends in 3 months or 1. The surge can't be stopped. For my part, I'm still hoping for a deal. No matter what kind of answer we come up with, it doesn't really matter. From the beginning, this case was a mess. What matters is how things turn out. XRP will not be thought of as a bond. Ripple probably won't have to pay any fines, and they'll get the information they need to work freely in the US. That's the main thing to remember. We're going to get to that conclusion no matter what because the future looks very bright. Now let's talk about something that's getting a lot of attention right now. A new SEC plan that has people talking on the internet. The SEC's website has a plan that looks at XRP as a possible strategic financial asset. There is good reason for the idea that XRP could be used as a strategic backup asset to spread like wildfire. This is being called breaking news. But let's take a moment to think about it. To begin, this wasn't put out by the SEC. Someone posted it to get people's attention. People, that's the truth here. Furthermore, I believe this doesn't really mean much. Is it nice to see? Perhaps. What does it change? Not really, it's just weird. For example, why would the SEC care that XRP is a strategic backup asset? It doesn't make sense. Please remember to take a deep breath, and be careful with things like this. People who use XRP have seen things like this happen before. People get excited, then run with it, and it goes from bad to worse. It looks like this was made on purpose to get attention. No doubt it looks good and was done well, but let's be clear, this is something that someone made. It's getting around quickly. Another thing I think is important to note is that it's mostly made up. This really could have been made by anyone. I might have been able to make it, also I didn't, or put it somewhere to make it look real. Don't let yourself get fooled by everything that seems good. This kind of thing will keep happening, so it's important to just call it noise. Rather than being based on facts.